I don't know. You're asking like it's a serious concern.
I mean, I'm concerned for that blood. Look at it.
All right, puppers, we're nearing the end of American McGee's Alice.
We're fighting the queen.
Ride the steam. Oh, not yet. We got to go into the castle first.
All
this time and we're still not in the castle itself. We went through
Nice
the main
little
gates, but we're not in the palace.
essence there that you... See, I wish games would allow you to backstore that stuff.
Some do.
Yeah, I know.
This game is not one of them.
Yeah, it should be.
I agree because
The games you need it the most don't let you do it.
like one really cool thing about Super Mario World is like it has a storage slot. So like you can store like one extra power up. So let's say you have a mushroom and you get another mushroom. That mushroom is in the storage slot. When you get hit, the mushroom falls from that storage slot and you have a moment to catch it. Now granted, if it's super hectic, it can fall and you can miss it.
Lose it.
But it is that nice little, hey, you got another chance here. Oh boy. They're from all angles.
I know.
I think there's a like nice little item.
Is there?
There's something that helps you out here. I just forget what it is. I don't think it's the oh, that's it. Ouch. Grasshopper tea. Here we go. This helps us jump higher. And turns us into a mutated bug lady.
She looks like, oh, what is her name from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Mantis?
Yes.
Yeah. I do get some mantis here. Minus the wings, of course. Chirp, chirp. I feel like this is the form where you'd be like, huh? Especially if she had a shell on her wings.
That's the thing. Is like it's the sound the shell makes.
Fuck. Right near the end, I had like 2 of those guys left. Ready? Whee!
Yeah, it's the sound the shell makes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't much care for grasshoppers.
No?
Crickets, I'm fine with crickets.
Okay.
Grasshoppers are just big. They're startling.
Oh, really?
When you're not expecting it. Oh my gosh, you'll have to get your sister's account. The one time after a driving lesson, I was taking her back to her aunt's house. And she noticed when we were almost there, there was a grasshopper in my car.
Oh.
And we're watching it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, please don't fly, please don't fly. And as soon as we stopped the car, it started to like go, and both of us are just screaming and flailing in the car.
Girls will be girls.
She noped. She just hard left the vehicle. And I was like, thanks for leaving me. Like, we tried to scoot him out.
It'll gnaw your flesh off. Bye.
I know.
It's like that scene from Without a Paddle where it's just like, oh man, why are you taking your shoes off? You can't outrun a bear. It's like, I don't have to outrun the bear.
I have to outrun
just have
you.
to outrun you.
Oh, I completely forgot about that movie.
That was like the first like raunchy comedy that I saw in theater with my dad.
Oh, bro.
And like me and my cousin were just like, oh, we want to see it. We think it's really funny. And my dad comes in while they were like hog tying the women. And my dad just makes this look like, we're going to talk about this later. He just shoots me this glare like, oh, we'll talk about this later.
I can remember some parts of Without a Paddle.
What did the girls see? The Tigger movie. What did the boys see? Without a Paddle. Oops. That being said, I really enjoyed the movie.
I liked it at the time. I wonder if I would feel the same way about it now.
Bacon. Squirrel. Squirrel. Because that had Seth Green, Matthew Lillard, and Dax Shepard?
Yeah, I can see his face. I don't remember his name.
Kristen Bell's husband.
Yeah.
And, like, she's clearly in the better movies. When she stopped being in comedies and was more into, like, family films and, like, more serious dramas, that was when her career took off. But she used to be in a lot of comedies, too.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
like Kristen Bell.
Frozen kicked off her career.
Well, she was also in The Good Place, which is fantastic.
I feel like that was after Frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, for anyone that hasn't watched the show The Good Place. Mm-hmm. It is so funny. I would recommend it.
All right, this is it, the main hall. She's got this nice aesthetic of blood fountains. Real chunky blood, too. You can see the bubbles at the top.
Now, why is it chunky?
Because she likes to spew the thick blood.
Chunky blood.
2 C's. No.
Was it a diabetic?
I don't know. You're asking like it's a serious concern.
I mean, I'm concerned for that blood. Look at it.
I don't know what the hell.
Those are some serious calcium deposits. They should be checked. Meanwhile, it's like, well, they're dead and fake, so.
It's just an aesthetic.
See, that's an actual.
Maybe it's artificial.
That's an actual issue I have, which I talk about in my Redwall reviews.
Okay.
It's just like sometimes I put a little too much logic into it.
Yeah. And it's just like, well, it's just an aesthetic.
Yeah.
Someone's like, oh, you know, it would be
like
morbid
they have.
if she had a fountain that spews blood.
Yeah. But even in like the second one that I just read, Mossflower, where they like build Redwall Abbey, and I'm just like, okay, so they're a bunch of mice and ferrets and rabbits. None of them have opposable thumbs. How do they build an abbey that has like dining halls and bathrooms and all these different rooms and things and levels and layers? And I'm like,
you and that logic, and Redwall's all like, we don't do that.
I know, they're like, we don't do that here. It's fine. And I'm just like, but all really, right. Like,
So here's a neat puzzle. You have to pull this switch so the mirror faces one of the portraits of the previous bosses. And then when you look in the mirror, it gives you a club, a diamond, or a spade. So now you have to go back here and find the door of the club, diamond, or the spade. It's a neat puzzle, but I also think it's very monotonous.
Yeah.
Because you have to do it for each picture. And to make it even more monotonous,
I think it's padding.
The enemies respawn.
Yeah.
Yes, that is padding. It's like instead of the whole puzzle being in one room, you have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
That's padding. Especially when it's like, this is the last thing before the final battle.
Yeah.
That's when padding hurts the most, because it's just like, oh, come on, I'm almost done.
Just like,
you gotta throw one last puzzle at me? Whereas another thing that games will do when it comes to padding is reuse bosses.
Yeah.
So like, let's say instead of the portraits, you go through
like
these doors
rush.
and you fight the bosses. You refight the Mad Hatter. You refight Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and you refight the Jabberwock.
See, like, the only time that I like that is whenever you grow as a character through experience or you gain levels, things like that. So it's like a boss that you face that you really struggled with, and then you face it again at the end, and you're like, wow, this is fucking easy now.
Yeah.
I don't mind that so much.
Gotcha.
But, like, you don't gain that here. You get more weapons, yeah. But, like, you're not gaining experience. You're not leveling up. So it would literally just be like, let's do it again. Whereas, like, in Trials of Mana, I did that a lot. I would go back and refight enemies that I struggled with, and I would be like, that wasn't so bad.
Well, like, I'm pretty sure in the final area of Trials of Mana, there's chambers that have, like, a few familiar bosses. Not all of them, but a couple.
Yeah.
That you refight.
Because Yeez is the same way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you refight. There's one specific boss that you refight a couple times.
Oh, okay.
And it's like each time it gets a little easier.
Okay.
So it is interesting to see like how your characters grow.
Cool. Yeah, it's a way to show growth because it's very common in video games, mainly RPGs, to where at the beginning of the story you'll face the main antagonist and he'll wipe the floor with you. Then during the final battle, like, he's still challenging, but you gotta beat him. You're not required to lose.
Right.
Which, from a storytelling aspect, it's like, okay, I get it. But from a gameplay aspect, I'm like, well, this is annoying. Like, am I supposed to lose? Do it? Like, quit. Get to it. Get to it, man.
I definitely see the point of doing it, though.
Well, it really shows like how insignificant your character is at the beginning.
Well, because you do that in Fantasy Forever revisions.
Yes, I play into that trope.
Yeah. But it works. Granted, I was pissed whenever I was playing it the first time, and I used all of my shit.
Yeah.
Trying to keep my party alive.
All right.
Get to to the door.
Well, I gotta clear out these card soldiers because that's what makes it even more monotonous. The enemies come back.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I'm not completely out of the woods. Gotta make sure one of these enemies don't one-shot me.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Alright. But again, all you gotta do here is throw the knife at the picture represented by that symbol. So for this one, it's the Jabberwock. And if you get it wrong, you're warped back to the mirror chamber and all the card soldiers respawn.
Ugh.
Yeah, so don't get it wrong. Alright, here we go.
See, I don't remember. Now, can you just go to the last door, or do you still have to go back to the mirror chamber?
You have to go back to the mirror chamber to rearrange the mirror so it unlocks the door.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Whereas, I think it would be interesting if in the mirror chamber you just like, okay, this,
if you can
that,
do all of them
this,
at once.
Yeah, and then go here and go through all the doors. I think that would have made it a lot less monotonous.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, in the future, if we ever think of a puzzle, try not to make it as padding as this. Just make it to where, okay, this room, that's the puzzle. This room, that's the solution.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to go back and forth as often as you do here. Because this is pretty much all we've done in this part.
Yeah, it's just back and forth.
Nuke card soldiers and throw knives at paintings. Yeah, because right there is the throne room. So
yeah.
The castle itself is not that big. Getting to the castle is long, but the castle itself just has one puzzle,
yeah,
a couple rooms, and the throne room, and that's it. Whereas Zelda especially, you get into the main villain's castle or
good luck.
An area, and you're just like, oh, this is a big area. You got more than one puzzle, let me tell ye. But some of the Zelda games do have some faults as well. Especially in the final level. They like to reuse puzzles and reuse bosses. They fall victim to that as well. So I'm not saying do it like Zelda. Zelda's perfect. No, Zelda got flaws.
Yeah. See, I see the point in redoing things because it's you learned the first time around and now it's the test. You have to prove that you remember.
Yeah.
Whereas for someone like me, that's some shit because I can just complete it and then immediately forget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's times where I'm just you did it. What did I do? You solved the puzzle. But what did I do?
I know, but where? How? What happened?
It did the music. It went doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
And I was like, did it?
All right, so there we go. Now the main door opens. And we can head on to the throne room to face the final boss. Yeah.
Today, Junior.
Today, Junior. And we're going to cut this a little short. It's not going to be as long as most of our episodes because we're going to just put the whole finale, the ending, and the credits in the next part, which will be the finale.
How nice that you're
come on.
able to do that all in one part. It took me an hour.
Yeah?
And lots of tears. And some swear words.
Final battle's no joke.
Yeah, it's rough.
We'll reveal it in the next part because right now I got to clear out these areas. There. See, it's not even challenging. It's just annoying. It's the same two soldiers.
Yeah, it's monotonous.
Yippee. Whereas if I just came back and they didn't respawn and I could just go right to the finale, wouldn't really add anything. Wouldn't add no challenge. I'd just be okay, cool. We can get to the point. Running the clock.
We can get to the chopper.
All right, but for reals though, in the next part, we're going to take on the Queen and the final battle. So we're going to finish up American McGee's Alice.
Ooh, Zoodles!